Tonight's UpFront report, we are talking with one of the state's top doctors on a variety of current issues in the fight against COVID-19 in our state. We're going to begin with a new outbreak at Grand Valley State University. Officials issuing a stay-at-home order, and it's not the only university seeing outbreaks. So joining me now is Dr. Joneigh Khaldun. You often see her by Governor Whitmer's side. We thank you so much for being here, Dr. Khaldun.
Thank you for having me on.
So do you think universities are doing enough to keep students safe? I mean, how do you stop a frat party and a house party?
You know, we've been talking to university presidents for several months now. We knew if universities decided to bring the students back that we might see these problems, and that's what we're seeing right now. I commend our university presidents. By and large, they're doing what they can. They're testing, they're providing isolation places for students, but we're very concerned that our local health departments and the state are working with these universities to make sure we're slowing the spread of the disease.
Okay. So Dr. Khaldun, let's talk about the importance of getting a flu shot this fall during the pandemic.
Yeah, we're really concerned. There's no question that this fall we're going to have both flu and COVID circulating. If someone has symptoms of the flu, that's going to take up our testing supplies for both flu and COVID. It could overwhelm our hospitals, so we're really concerned. We're asking everyone 6 months and over to get a flu shot this year.
Even if it's your first time?
Even if it's your first time, it's never too late. Get it now. We recommend people get it actually before October.
And doctor, is there any science that differentiates like 200 people dining in a restaurant versus 200 people in a banquet hall for a shower or a wedding using the same safety precautions and guidelines? You know, in many cases, there's more space in a hall than a restaurant. And especially as we approach the fall and outdoor dining is becoming non-existent, more relevant and critical right now.
I'll tell you what I know. I know there have been many places, banquet halls included, in Michigan and across the country where people have been having these gatherings and they're having outbreaks. Indoor restaurants, banquets, weddings, funerals, that's where we're seeing a lot of these outbreaks across the country. And that's why we're being very careful with how we reopen those businesses.
Maybe the difference in how they socialize?
Perhaps. I mean, in a lot of these places, people, if you're not maintaining that social distance, if you're not wearing a mask, that's how you're going to spread the disease. It only takes one person. We have these super spreading events across the country where it's just one person impacting the people that are at that event, but also people across the country. So it's absolutely concerning. It just takes one person.
Just takes one. Well, Dr. Khaldun, I want to ask you about the lack of people of color in COVID vaccine testing trials. We do know that there's been a big push to get people of color signed up, and some African Americans have even been tested unknowingly. You know, that adds to distrust of government, medical professionals, but we did hear Dr. Fauci say that if there aren't enough people of color in trials, the vaccine could be pushed back.
Yeah, that's certainly something that we're very concerned about. And we totally understand that many communities of color have mistrust of the medical community, and that's for appropriate reasons. We understand that historically, science and medicine has not always been, they have not always been good to people of color. And so that's why we're making sure if a vaccine is going to be available, we want it to be safe, we want it to be effective, and that's the only way we're going to be encouraging people to get that vaccine here in the state of Michigan.
And how do you encourage people to get involved?
You know, I think everyone has a part to play. You know, if you don't want to be involved in a vaccine trial, I understand it. We certainly hope people will. But again, just do the basics. Wash your hands, wear a mask, keep your distance, and get your flu shot this year. Those are the very simple things everyone can do to help fight COVID-19.
Thank you so much, Dr. Joneigh Khaldun. We appreciate you talking with us tonight, all of us with concerns on this very important issue. So thank you for taking the time.
Thanks for having me. Stay well.
All right, and stay with 7 Action News. We've got continuing coverage of the pandemic. You can get up-to-the-minute information on the coronavirus on our website 24 hours a day, WXYZ.com.